Hi everybody, welcome for our first battle report. First of all, you saw some news regarding big tournaments. So because of the virus, some big tournaments have been cancelled or are very likely going to be cancelled in the coming weeks. So the program of tournament that I gave you in the last video will be of course affected by these changes, and it's very likely that we will as player have very few tournaments to play. At least the big international tournament will probably not take place, so it will be only maybe small tournament or practice game in the coming months for all of us. So that might as well impact the content that you will see on my channel. I will keep you posted, keep you informed regarding what I plan to do in the coming weeks. I would say in the coming weeks it will be mostly practice games, so we will be still able to get some battle reports. Okay, first battle report in English on my channel, my Ogre can against the Demon Legion, beautiful Demon Legion from Fabio, who is, in my opinion, the best painter probably in Switzerland. You can see his model are just amazing, so I thought it could be a good occasion to invite him at my place to make a game, to play a game between us, because we never played against each other actually, and it was a good occasion to have beautiful model to show you, and for me as well to do a practice game against the Demon, which I don't know them very well, so it's always a good occasion to practice against Demon. Okay, first of all, the list. My army list is the following. I tried a new composition with 2 shaman, one adept pyro, the other one adept shamanism. Adept pyro as well the firebrand, which gives him a breath weapon as well as the fireball. So 5 spell totally. On the shaman of the shamanism, I have the Liger Tongue and the Iron Fist to give him a profile quite good in combat and be able to do some challenge against a big character who might come against my bruiser unit. As well, in this unit you will find the Can BSB, who is wearing Banner of Discipline, Cult Leader, to have the 18-inch bubble, which is always something really good for MSU army, which is the army that I play. 2 Hunter as well, you see them very often. The first one is with Basalt Infusion, Talisman of Shielding, Spine Splitter of course, so 6 attack, strength 6 on the charge, as well as impacted strength 6. And the other one is the one with Troll Eater, so 3+, 4+, Earth Reaper, which gives him quite a good profile on combat, and as well is quite resilient. So good. And with it of the pack, I have 1 Hunter with Vanguard and the other one with Scout. So as well, good combination to cover all type of special deployment with the two Keen Eater that I play as well, which are not in this list actually, but I play them in this list. I just forgot to mention them. So two times 1 Keen Eater as well. In core, I have 8 Bruiser with the standard, which gives them Swift Stride, 3 times 3 Tribesmen, 2 Tigers. So as I said, 2 times 1 Keen Eater, 3 Mercenaries, as well as a unit that I wanted to test. It's a good alternative to the Giant, a bit cheaper, but not exactly the same purpose on the list. I choose Plate Armor and Swift Stride for the abilities, and I paid them Iron Fist, the Giant with Great Weapon, 1 Rock. So that's my list. So MSU around a bruiser unit, big bruiser unit with 11 body totally with the character in it. Fabio's list he was playing a Norman of Savara, Master of Thaumaturgy, with +1 movement, hatred, +1 agility, the Morph Arcan with Master of Revocation, Mirrored Scales, which makes me reroll. Which makes me roll the 1 to hit against my own unit, which is very good power to increase a bit the combat result in your favor. Armor 5+, and Scout within his own deployment zone. 20 Myrmidons with Hatred, full command. 10 Imps with the hereditary spell. 10 Succubi against Scout in their own deployment zone. Musician Champion, 6 Fiends. 10 Hellhounds with Hot Blood, 2x1 Titan Slayer Chariot with +2 advance rate against magical item, so it's a good ability to have that against magical item, since he already has +2 advance rate against Towering Presence. And 2 chaff pieces, 1 time Sirens, 1 time Furies. So very good list for the demons, something that you can see in tables quite often with the Omen of Savar, and also the more it's also a very good character with the ability to play a big role with the magic, but as well with the profile in combat, where you can heal the wounds that you make. So it's quite a good model in my opinion. Okay, settings for this game. We played Counter Trust and King of the Hill. The spell I chose, Fireball, Cascading Fire, Paracastic Flow, so the 3 blast. And for Shamanism, +1 Strength, Toughness, and Hereditary spell. My opponent chose Hereditary, the blast, so D6 +1, D6 +1, Trial of Faith, Wrath of God, and Evocation 2 boost, 2 snipes. So straightforward choice for him. I think he has good combination of good damage, range damage, and as well good boost. Maybe I would have chosen as well another boost in the Thaumaturgy, because it's possible, it's likely that Morph Arcan will be playing a bit on the side, and therefore it might be a bit far away to boost some unit who are on the other side of the table. So it might have been interesting to have as well, I don't know, maybe Smite the Unbeliever on the Omen. Okay, matchup analysis, quite complicated, because I struggle with many things. For me, the Omen of Savar is not so easy, because if he comes in the Bruiser Star, he can kill my characters. So not so easy. Morph Arcan is as well something not so easy to deal with. I have the feeling that maybe my Rock and the Bruiser unit can deal with the Morph Arcan, but for the rest, I mean the Hunter and so on, it's not so easy to go in combat against him. I cannot allow the Omen to come with some help into my Bruiser unit, that's clear. The snipes are a big threat as well, so because I have unarmored characters, I mean, I cannot allow to take too many snipes in my Bruiser unit. I have more threat, more mobility, so I can play on the width, that's a good point for me. And of course, magic priority, I will first of all try to clean the chaff, and then reduce a little bit the Myrmidon, because it's as well a unit which can cause me problems with 20 body, strength 5, hatred, strike before me, so can cause some damage. For example, if he comes with Omen within the unit of Myrmidon, it can be a bit risky to fight against them with the Bruiser Star. And Keen Eater should be a good threat against small unit and Chariot, so they might be very useful in ambush. But be careful of long charges. The Chariot with +2 on Giant or Rock can be a bit annoying, so I need to keep that in mind during the game. Okay, here you have a picture of the deployment, so you can see the beautiful model of Fabio. We play Counter Trust, I choose the side, and Fabio had the opportunity to choose who was going to drop first. He chose to drop first. So we exchanged 3 drop each, and then he decided to drop everything to go first. But first of all, objective, I choose the hill as my piece of terrain to defend, and Fabio decided to choose the lake as piece of terrain to defend, so the water feature for the scenario. And then the first 3 drop on my side were this unit of Tribesmen, this unit of Tribesmen, as well as the little saber-toothed tiger. On Fabio's side, he decided quite quickly to drop the Furies, and then I guess Succubi and maybe the light cavalry or the imps. I'm not sure exactly. And as well, I can remind you that the Morph Arcan was in scout, as well as my hunter on the top left. So on Fabio's side, from left to right, you have here the Succubi unit a first Titan Slayer chariot. The 6 fiends are over there. Here you have the Furies. Here you have the block of Myrmidons with the Omen of Savar, who is on the top right. Second Titan Slayer chariot, the fast cavalry, so the Siren, the 10 Hellhounds, the 10 Imps, and the Morphakan to finish. On my side, you have 2 times Tribesmen, Rock. Here on the top left, you have the Scouting Hunter with Spine Splitter, the 3 Mercenaries plus the BSB. I choose to put the BSB here to have 18-inch range to the Rock to give him reroll in case of Frenzy. A Saber-Tooth Tiger, Bruiser Star with here the Mage of Fire with my General, and the Mage of Shamanism here. The Giant Hunter who did his Vanguard, he was over there at the beginning with the Saber-Tooth Tiger, so Saber-Tooth Tiger after Vanguard, Hunter after Vanguard, and here you have the 3 Tribesmen. Okay, that was all for my deployment. So Fabio had the choice to put either the Scout over there or over there, but he chose to go over there to put a threat on my Bruiser unit as well as on the Hunter and so on. It doesn't allow me to play really on this side and to take advantage of the side which was quite weak because it's only Imps, Hounds, so could be a good zone, a good area to play within for my Hunter. So that was the strategy of Fabio. Okay, let's move on to turn 1 of the Demon. Fabio didn't move a lot, but he chose to cover the angle, so to correct a bit the mistakes to allow me to come here with the Hunter. So he just moved doesn't allow me to go 14 here and go outside of the arc. So he just moved them. He has a champion in this unit, so he might be able to keep me in combat for a while if I charge. The Chariot as well, and the Fiends make some movement to cover on this left flank because there is this Trent which he has to defend. Myrmidon move forward, the Omen of Savar march in the Imp unit to have some target with magic. The Hellhounds moved a bit, as well as the Chaff goes a bit behind the lines to be protected from some of the blast. And the Morphakan made a bit move forward to threat my flank. So that was his idea. He's not really afraid to become a charge, to receive the charge from the Hunter, because with his profile, I mean with the attack strength 6, he isn't really afraid of this combat. And for me it could be difficult to go against him because I mean I can do some wounds, but he has 9 wounds and he can heal, so I will die at some point. Okay, Magic. I'm quite lucky in Magic because he threw first a Touch of the Reaper on the Hunter. I made 2 regen save 4+, and then against a Trial of Face, 2 wounds on the Hunter, and I do as well 2 regen. So I should have taken at least 2 wounds, and I took none. So that was quite lucky for me on this round. And then he tried with the 2 remaining dice, Wrath of God, which fails. So that was all for this turn 1. So quite lucky on my part because I took no wounds, and I should have taken a bit more casualties in this round. So quite lucky. Okay, turn 1 of the Ogres. I just go outside of the arc with both the Hunter and the Tribesmen. I move a bit with the Giant, I put back my BSB within the unit, and I do some small moves with the Chaff, getting a bit in position if I need to chaff something and go forward. I try to open the game here in the middle. I go as piece of chaff more or less with the Tribesman. The idea, if he charge, I have a good counter charge opportunity. Here I move slowly forward, and here I tried quite a long charge, but without any downside for me. It was an 11 Swift Ride. I tried to take it because there was no counter charge. So I said, if I go forward, that's not that bad. If he charge me, should be able to take it. So let's go for the long charge. And if I go in, it's quite good because they're only strength 3. Okay, a lot of attacks, but strength 3. So they only wound me on 6s. So I should be able to deal with them. So that was I think a good opportunity to take the charge on this round. And in shooting phase, I don't wound with the hunting spear from the hunter. And in magic, sorry, I forgot magic. What did I do? I did a fireball on the gargoyles, and I did 4 wounds, and I did as well a cascading fire on the cavalry, and my opponent chose to dispel the pyroclastic flow. So I kill here 4 models and here 3 models on this unit, but still both chaff are alive. I was just within 24, so I wasn't able to do much more. I could have gone a bit more forward, I guess, to get the range of 24 to the middle of the unit, because as soon as I did some casualties, this augment actually the distance between my unit and the chaff and put me outside of the range. So I should have gone just 1-2 inch more in order to have the middle of both units within the range. This should have allowed me to kill maybe at least one of the chaff, definitively. Okay, let's go turn 2. Turn 2 of Demon, not a lot of things happen, but he took 1 charge. He decided to charge with the chariot against my 3 tribesmen and reform a bit the fiends, which surprisingly gives me the opportunity to charge with the Auroch into the chariot without getting countercharge, so that's not bad. Then he reforms the succubi, just go back 2.5 to against avoid that I go 14 outside of the arc. In the center, he makes again some move. The omen goes back here. He goes a bit forward and straight against my line. And here the Morphakan just position back in order to block the movement on the side of both these units. And that's it, I guess. In magic, what did he try? He put first d6 plus 1, d6 plus 1 here. He had just a line of sight. I should have been more careful and just put a piece of chaff here. I forgot that the omen had so much mobility and was able to come here and get a line of sight. Should have stayed behind. So my Saber-tooth Tiger dies on this turn. That's a bad news. And then he does as well 4 wounds into the Bruise Star with I don't remember which spell, and then as well with 4 dice against 6 he put a Wrath of God here. So that's really a very good magic phase for him. Yeah, of course, bad position here, and then a bit unlucky on the Wrath of God with 4 dice against 6. In combat, no surprise, he kills these guys and overrun in order to act as chaff on the Rock. And I guess that's it for his turn. Yeah, no shooting, that's all. My turn 2. Of course, I charge with the Rock on the chariot. As I've said, I'm outside of line of sight of the fiends in any case. I am full life at the moment, so it's good to kill a chariot at this point of time. This time I didn't took the charge because he repositioned himself to cover with the fiends the flank. That was his idea. He wasn't able to cover for the Rock, but he decided to cover this unit, the succubi, in case I charge again with my hunters. That was, I think, a good decision in this case. And then I didn't charge. I decided not to charge with the hunter because I would just getting challenged, then he would stick in combat and I would get counter charge in the flank, and that would be too much to take because as you probably know, the fiends have +1 to hit and +1 to wounds against large infantry, so it's a bit complicated for the hunter. But I have a keen eater who comes in the field. I put him just behind to act as an annoying threat here behind this line, so I can threat the succubi and as well the fiends. So I think it's interesting to have this position for the keen eater. And what else can I say? Yeah, other movement. I decided here to chaff with the Ogre. I put them within 18-inch range of the PSB, so it will be a 7 rerollable on the terror check, but this gives me the opportunity to go a bit forward with the hunter. I'm not sure this was a good idea because I'm outside of the Hellhounds, but I can get charged by the Imps whoever champion, so this might stick me in place, and maybe I should have done something else, but in any case, it's quite a bad position here to be for this hunter, because these guys have lethal strikes and a lot of attacks. This guy is too strong for the hunter, so it was in any case a bad spot to be for him. I reposition the giant and the bruiser star, so I stay on this hill because this gives me the possibility to charge quite far away with the rerollable Swift Strides movement 6 charge range. It's quite good. Because of the Wrath of God, I go as far as I could, so with some movement I can go as far as 10 inch from the Wrath of God, which is quite good for the mercenaries. And I just reposition this scoring unit. That's all for my movement. In the magic phase, I try to put first of all a fireball on the chaff piece, but I fail, and then I do Pyroclastic Flow on the Myrmidon, and I succeed. Also, my opponent tried to dispel it. I kill 8 Myrmidons total, so it's quite good because there will be much less a threat for me. And then I try as well a Cascading Fire, which gets dispel, but I can put +1 strength on this guy. I just thought, you know, if I fail terror check and I get charged, maybe with strength 6 can be a bit more annoying for the Morph I can. Just so. I had 1 dice, I guess, left, so I tried. And the Wrath of God goes down with an amazing range of 11, so it strike against these guys. They get 4 wounds totally, and the Bruiser Star gets 7 wounds totally, so it's quite a lot. I lost 2 bodies on this round, so it's quite a lot. In combat, I'm able to kill these guys, and that's all for combat. Turn 3 of the demon. See, I have a picture after the Wrath of God. Okay, turn 3 of the demon, it gets a bit more interesting because we start more combat. So here, he takes the charge with the imps. I think my position was not good because I shouldn't allow that, because I will be stick in place and I'm not in the good area with these 2 threats who can come and cause me a lot of problems. He charge, I stick on the 7 rerollables, so that's a good news. And here he decided just to move forward. Here, bad news. I did 5 wounds on the impact hits, and Fabio did 5 Aegis 5+, so I do 0 wound on the impact. So 5, it's not a lot, but I wound all on 2+. And then I just do no wounds on the impact. Then I strike with the Ogre, and he is able to strike back, which is a bad news because he has 3 strength 6 attacks and 2 strength 5 attacks, so he caused me 2 wounds. And that was not a good thing to take, because I just thought I might kill him outright on the impact and the attack of the Ogre, and then be able to be full without any wounds, without any casualties on my Uruk. And I took 2 wounds back, so that's a bad news, but I was able to kill him with the Uruk attacks. And now he just decided to come forward with the Fiends. His plan is quite easy. He moved against again the Omen of Savar to be in range of the Uruk, and his plan is to do at least 2 wounds in order to cause me some problem if I go in combat with the Fiends. Here you can see as well, I made a bit of a mistake. Since I wanted to go as far as possible from the Wrath of God, I didn't angle them in a way to have a look on the Fiends, and this is a bit stupid, because I could have just angled them a bit more and have a line of sight on the Fiends and cause them a threat with multiple charges, and therefore be able to minimize the contact that I might have with the Rock. So again, second mistake on my part. So the demon, rest of the movement, he stays into position in the middle. A bit of movement with the Succubi, he acts as a piece of chaff for my Keen Eater, and that's it. In the magic phase, first of all, Hand of Even against the Rock does 1 wound. Trial of Phase, fails, and then with the hereditary spell he does as well 1 wound on the Rock. So he does exactly the 2 wounds he wanted to do, and he tries Wrath of God with 4 dice against 6. I take this out, so that's at least one good news for me on this magic phase. And then we move on to the combat phase. I kill the champion, he kills 2 models and succeed in the leadership check and reforms, makes a post-combat pivot, and that's all. Turn 3 of the Ogres. I take 2 charges. I fail the frenzy check, so I go in, I charge here in, and here I was quite far away, so I do a long movement to position myself in a position to threat multiple units while staying outside of the line of sight of the Omen. On this side, I go chaff the more if I can with the Saber-Tooth Tiger. My idea is the following. After this combat, I will be able to reform myself here on the left and make the charge on the Hunter impossible, and while repositioning a bit the unit on the right side, I should be able to countercharge with Swift Stride and or Rerollable with these 2 units on the Morphakan, so be enough of a threat to make him think twice before doing this. Here, because I was in a bad position, I just make some wheel in order to cover a bit this position, because I was not able to cover it with the Bruise Star, so if it does some march movement, he might be able to go outside of this arc. That's why. And that's all for my movement. In Magic, I try to put 2d6 strength 4 in combat. No, 2d6, excuse me. 2d6, I think it was against on the Myrmidon. He dispels it, and then I kills with the Cascading Fire in combat 2 imps. I kill as well some Myrmidons with Fireball and the attribute, the Blaze 2 times. I kill 4 Myrmidons, so it's only 6 of them left, so they are not much of a threat anymore. And here into combat as well, I rolled badly with my impact hit. I do 4 impact total, and I do only 2 wounds, which gives him 18 attacks. Which strike before me, and he kills me. I do 2 wounds, and he do 2 wounds, so he kills me, which is the worst situation that might happen in the 9th age, because he has a free reform and can charge multiple things on his turn, either the scoring unit, either the Hunter, the Man-Eater. He has so much possibility, so it's really the worst scenario, and this happened. So that's how it is. We'll see what are the consequences for me. Turn 4, he decided to charge the Hunter on the back. This was the best decision, I guess. Here I'm still stuck into combat. I was unable to free myself from this combat, so he decided to charge. 9 rerollable on the terror check as stay, so he will be able to overrun and then do this combat afterwards and possibly kill my Hunter. We'll see. He decided to give me the Hounds as piece of chaff for my Bruiser. So good decision as well, because it doesn't allow me to go with my Bruiser Star on the Morphakan. He repositioned himself with Myrmidon and Omen to be a threat on the scoring units and the back line. You can see as well that my second Keen Eater hasn't come on the field yet, so that's a bit annoying for me. And that's it for movement. He does with 2 dice against 4 End of Even, which kills us, which does, I guess, 1 wound only on the Tribesman, so a bit lucky on the wound, but I lost 4 dice against 2. That's a bit bad. And then he does a Spear Hereditary on the Tribesman as well. I can dispel it. And he does Trial of Faith and does 1 wound on the Tribesman, so I have still no panic check to do. And in combat, what happens? He does 1 wound on the Keen Eater. I already took 1 wound on my charge, so he does 1 wound, I make no regen, and again 1 wound, no regen, and I kill only a few models, so we stick into combat for a few turns. And here he does 3 wound to me, I do 3 wound back, so quite lucky for me, and I can stick on the 8, but yeah, I will die on the next turn, so that doesn't have a great impact. Over there, he kills the dog, overrun into the combat. He does 3 wounds into my hunter, and I stick in the combat. I succeed in my leadership check, so I stick, and that's all. My turn 4, so you can see I'm quite in a bad shape at the moment because I lost a lot and I don't have a lot of solution remaining. So what I do, I take the Hellhounds, that's 300 points, and then I'm able to reform, and he has no piece of chaff. At least the piece of chaff are here behind, so it will be difficult for him to chaff me because of the giant and so on. Man-Eater try to be to have some impact on this game, so I march forward outside of the line of sight to be able to charge into this combat if possible. My Keen-Eater, I think, is on the field on this turn and goes here on the flank to be able to block a bit the reform and maybe counter charge and so on. And I guess that's all. Here I move forward. The idea is he will be able to kill me on this turn, so I know that this scoring unit will not survive very long, so my idea is I try that he decide to charge against this unit rather than the Keen-Eater in combat, because that will just kill the Keen-Eater and put me in a very bad shape, because the Omen will be able to deal easily with the scoring unit, so I will lose the Keen-Eater as well, which is not something that I wish for, because I don't have many units on the field anymore. On the magic phase, I put Children of Umi on the giant to try to give him more chances to survive the combat. And then what did I do? I tried as well +1 toughness on the giant, but this gets dispelled. And what he does, he kills the hunter. So I have a charge, he does 1 wound, so we stick. I kill the Hellhounds, I just make a pivot in this direction. Over there I kill quite a lot of succubi, there is only 1 left after the leadership check, so that's quite good. He kills me and reform to see the scoring units, and I guess that's all. We move on to turn 5. So he takes the charge with the chariot. It was a 9 swift ride on the flank of my giant. That's a bad news, because I will not be able to fight both of these models together. Luckily for me, he fails all 3 march checks, so that was leadership 6, leadership 5, 6, and so on, so it was difficult discipline check to do, so he fails them, which gives me the possibility to charge on the next turn with my bruiser units. That's at least one good news. He charged with the fiends. Here we are still in combat. He just comes forward with the Myrmidon to be able to deal with me on the next turn, depending on what happens. And over there it just goes back with the Omen to try to blast the mercenaries veteran and to kill them. On the magic, he does 1 wound with Stride of Face on the mercenaries, and then he does 2 wounds with the spear. I succeed on the leadership 8 rerollable, and he try as well some other spell, I guess, but that's dispelled. In combat, he does exactly 7 wounds with both these 2 models, so I'm unable to strike. So he kills me. He does exactly 7 wounds, exactly. I would have liked to put the 10 or 11 attacks in the chariot, but that didn't happen, so that's a bad news as well. Here I kill the succubi and I have only 1 wound left, so he did, that's the 4th turn that we fight, and he did the previous 3 turns, he did 3 times 1 wound, and on this turn I finally succeed to make one regeneration save on the Keen-Eater, so that's at least a good news. So I am free with the Keen-Eater. Here he kills the tribesmen, he killed 2 of them and then decided to pursue them to avoid the fact that I stay within the table and try to score on the last turn. And we go on to turn 5, sorry for the blurry picture. I took a very bad decision, I don't know why. I thought that this might go well against Myrmidon, but that was a very, 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 very bad decision, because to go with 1 wound against 6 Myrmidon, that's too easy for him to kill me. I just go far away with the mercenaries because I had no good charge from here. I couldn't do something good, so I tried to go as far away from the omen as possible and try to take the opportunity to charge next turn. But again, I don't know why I took this charge. That was really, really stupid. Here I took 2 charges, Keen Eater on the flank of the chariot and the bruiser on the 3 imps with a 6 Thrift Stride to overrun within the omen, the Maw of Akan. That would be a very good ending of the game for me if I can manage to go against the Maw of Akan with my Bruiser Star. I think I have good odds to win this combat. In Magic, I try to put Children of Umi on this unit, get Dispel, but I can put 2 D-Sync Cascading Fire on the chariot and do 3 wounds on the chariot. That's a very, very good news. And then in combat, I'm unable with 4 attack, Hatred, Strength 5 to deal with the last wound of this chariot, and even worse, is able to put 2 wounds back, so I have a charge a flank and it does 2 wounds, so we stick into combat. This doesn't allow me to do a very great overrun because I'm only able to put 2 models into contact, so I go in contact with the Maw of Akan. And I decided that will be next turn, yeah, sorry. So I kill the 3 imps, overrun, succeed with the 6 Thrift Strides, so that's good news. Here, of course, I get killed. I don't know why I go against this unit. I forgot that they had Hatred. So, yeah, it was a very, very bad decision. And again, I gave him the best situation in the 9th age to be able to do a free reform to charge the Mercenaries veteran on the next turn, so that's very bad for me. Okay, nevertheless, turn 6, so not a lot that remains is succeed with the charge with the Myrmidon against the Mercenaries. I thought I might as well stay because of the flee. I would flee here behind. I don't know. I thought I might just try. I have 3 up, parry. Maybe I will be able to stick and then attack with 5 attack, strength 5. I might be able to win this combat, and I'm behind on points, so I might just as well try to win this combat. Maybe. Who knows? The Omen of Savar just goes behind to avoid any blasts in case I win this combat. And here we are still in combat. He's able to put rerolling to hit on the Omen of Savar, on the Maw of Akan, sorry, so rerolling to hit, and on, yeah, that's it, I guess. On combat, what happens? He put 1 wound on me, again, I'm not able to finish him, so I do no wounds. Here, he kills me outright, so I'm not able to strike, and here, I had an hesitation because I was able to put +1 strength on this unit on the last turn. I didn't put Children for me, but I put +1 strength. And I thought with the impact hit and so on, I might just be better with refusing the challenge in order to have as much model as possible to attack the Maw of Akan. So he puts the BSB outside of combat, so I have still the Leaguer Tongue, but I don't have the BSB striking. I put all my attack on him, but he's able to strike. I made quite a good number of wounds and heal a little bit, so he stick into combat. He loses a few wounds, but he stick into combat. And on my turn 6, so the final turn, I have only these 2 units left. Again, I'm not able to kill him, he kills me. So I lose the Keen Eater and only take the half point of the Titan Slayer Chariot. And here in this combat, I take the challenge with my Shaman of Shamanism. I put some spell. I put +1 toughness on the Keen Eater to try to survive, but I did anyway. But I get the scarification off, so I get the challenge against the Maw of Akan, and I do. With the Potion of Strength 3 wounds, he does nothing to me, so I have Banner, BSB, plus 3 wounds. He has a Leadership 4 to make, I guess, something like that. He had to do a Leadership 4, and he does the Leadership 4. So he's still alive with 2 wounds after this combat, and I only take half point on the Maw of Akan, so that's a bit... On the right side, that was a bit unlucky for me, but I have only the Bruiser Star alive on the field, so it's really, I took heavy casualties during this game. Okay, point-wise, I take half of the Maw of Akan, I take the Succubi, the Imps, half of the Furies, there is still 1 left. I take 1 chariot and half a chariot and the Hellhounds, and my opponent took everything except the Bruiser Star, which makes 14-6 for him. So that's quite a big loss for me. I took multiple bad decisions, I think, and I will try to highlight a bit what were the key moments of the game as well. I will try to do an alternative deployment, because I think there was as well another option on the deployment which might have been better for me during this game. So game analysis. Decision making was very far from perfect. I mean, with the Crabman, so the Keen Eater, that was not so good decision to charge the Myrmidon. Mercenaries, I played them very, very bad. I mean, I did nothing with them. I had nothing in my arc. That was very, very bad placement, bad decision. That was really a horror show for them. 2 Hunters, I played as well, not so good with both of them. A bad decision, and that cost me a lot of points. I took too much time and resources to solve the Maw problem. So as I've said, on the right side it was a big problem, and I wasn't able to finish the Mofakan and to take a bit more point. But anyway, my Bruiser Star performed quite well. I mean, I was able to zone him at the beginning of the game, then to clean some chaff, and almost take the Maw. I think I should have challenged on turn 1 with the charge. I would have saved actually half the point of the Bruiser, and I would probably have been in a better spot with the challenge. I think that was a bad decision to refuse the challenge. Demon's Magic overall was very effective. I mean, the impact on the Rock to do these 2 vital wounds before the combat, that was very important. And I mean, I had some bad rolls on the impacted with the Rock, which as well had an impact on this side. But yeah, that was a good play from the Demon's part. Deployment, I mean, the Tribesmen were not in the ideal position. I should have them more centrally in order to open the game and chaff at some point. And the Mercenaries veteran would have been better on the left. I mean, they are capable, to annoy a bit the Fiends and to be some threat, and be maybe in a better position as well to take the blast, because they have leadership 8 and they are more resilient overall on the blast they might take. So I think they would have been on a better spot on the left. And I mean, the Fiends and the Maw were a big problem during this game. I had some trouble to deal with them, and I think Fabio took the good decision to deploy the Maw on the right side, because it was quite far away of the Rock, who was for me the best tool I had to deal with the Maw. And the Omen could have been much more annoying for me if playing in the Bruiser zone, so that was a chance that he was a bit occupied with other stuff around the board and was not in this part of the board, because that would have been another problem for me with the Bruiser Star. Regarding deployment, so that was the situation. As a reminder, I had only deployed 2 Tribesmen and the Keen Eater when Fabio decided to drop all except the Mofakan. So quite heavily on the right side of the impassable part, which I mean, for most of the units, it's quite obvious that he has to go on this side of the impassable. What I could have done is drop heavily on the left side, so decide more or less to let him take this objective, but really to drop heavily on this side, to have my strengths combined on the left side, and I think have in any case the possibility to take the water feature, and therefore at least to draw on the objective in any case. That would have let me the possibility to just let probably the giant maybe over here or on the hill, and the hunter with Vanguard on this side to have some threats. So if he tries to go on this side of the impassable terrain, which he has to do with the hounds and so on, I have some threat on this side of the board. And as well, these are some threats which doesn't allow him to go easily on the objective. So I think that would have been much better to just keep 2 threats on this side of the board, which are quite independent. and to have the rest of my armies, so Rock, Bruiser Star I think over there, Rock a bit more on the left, and to go fast on this side. And then he has the choice to make, and it's quite likely that he will not drop the Morph Arcane on this side, because if I have only one Hunter and the Giant, and he drops the Morph Arcane here, I think he will lose a lot of time to come over here. So he will most likely drop the Morph Arcane on this side to have some threat with the snipes against the Bruiser Star characters. So very likely will drop over here, which would give me the possibility to drop my Scout Hunter on this side. Or if he still decides to put the Morph Arcane over there, I can just, with my 2 threat over there, move slowly to the left to try to slow him down with the Morph Arcane, who would be very far from the action on the left side, and then scoot as I did on the left side, and therefore be very, very strong on this left side with all my threat. And if he decides to put the Morph Arcane on the left, I have possibilities, if he tries to go over there, to have with the Mammoth Hunter, possibility to be swift and go over the flank and cause him some trouble on this side of the board. And as well as maybe with the Hunter, if he doesn't plan to go here with the Morph Arcane, I can as well be very quick on this side and be very annoying over there, as well as be very strong over there. So that would have been much more difficult for him. I think I was too focused to defend the hill, but the approach to deploy heavily on the left would have been much more efficient for me, I guess. So that was an alternative, that's something that I should keep in mind for the next time that I face such an army or a similar situation within the game. Okay guys, that's all. Thank you very much to have watched this first battle report in English. I hope this was enjoyable for you. Please don't hesitate to give me some feedbacks in the comment section. As I've said, I think my coming games will be some practice game. I hope that the Infernal Dwarfs Army book will be released soon, in order for me to propose you some games with the new books, and to propose you as well a complete review of the new army book, to help you to understand what is new. So I hope that will be a release that will come soon on the non-sage part. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Bye bye.